Welcome CFC Fan TV. I'm delighted to be joined by the one and only Ben Rebuck. Make sure that you follow him on Twitter. His link is in the description below. Things haven't been going well for us. We had a good result against Southampton, but I think a lot of people are already thinking about next year.
One eye on next season.
Absolutely. We need to focus on the Cup, make sure that we do our best to win the Cup. It'd be wonderful if we can achieve it. But a lot of people are thinking about next season already. And we've been having a chat about how we could line up next year.
Yep.
We've got an interesting team. Now, we're being a bit optimistic in certain positions, but this is how we see a potential starting 11 for the first game of next season.
Yeah, it's a bit more of kind of wants and desires than necessarily it probably will happen, but I think,
But we're going to have to do something drastic, I think, in the summer. We really are going to have to make a big stamp on that transfer window because we've had, effectively, we have to rectify two dire windows.
Yep.
So we really do have to do well. And do you know what? There's obviously going to be a hero of this World Cup. Whoever it is, we need to be in that conversation. I don't even mind if we sign them or not, but it's just being in the conversation.
He'll probably already play for us. We've got so many players. He probably literally is already one of our players.
But you know the way that James Rodriguez flew into the public consciousness at Brazil? It'd be wonderful if whoever does that, we could potentially snap up.
Definitely.
So we're going to start. We're going to talk through our starting 11. We've got a few subs as well to mention, but we'll go through the starting 11 the way that we could see it, living in a dream world, lining up. We'll start with the keeper, and it's not Thibaut Courtois.
Thankfully, it's not. I think this is the summer that we have to cash in on him. This season, for me, just enough of him. I think Chelsea fans are sick to death of him. Every day, sort of seems to be every day, like, I want to do this, I want to do that.
Flirting with Madrid.
It is, like, tiresome now. It's enough. I think we need to cash in on him. He's still young. He is a great keeper, but he gets beaten too often at his near post. He's not that good saving shot. He's not a good shot stopper. He's great in the air, great at catching balls, but apart from that, he's not exactly the best keeper in the world. And I think he thinks he is, which is the problem.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I rate Courtois. But do you know what it is with him? He leaves me cold. I don't think he loves Chelsea. I don't think he loves us. I don't think he loves the club. I don't think he loves being part of this London outfit. And I do think he's got one eye on Madrid. I know a lot of that is tied into his personal circumstances.
Yep.
For that, I understand it. But Courtois is not in this team, and we're going to go with our keeper being
Jan Oblak, Atletico Madrid. He is superb. When we played them earlier this season, he was, even though we beat them, in Madrid, he was the standout man for me. He was fantastic. He's looked brilliant all season. He's young, he's fresh, he's a great keeper. If not him, Donnarumma, because he's also superb.
Hey, he's good.
Yeah.
And he's only about 6 as well.
Yeah, he's 19, Donnarumma, so he would also be a good choice. But I think Oblak...
How at 19 years old can you have played over 100 games for AC Milan?
It's absurd.
It's absurd.
100 games for anyone, let alone a team of their stature.
Yeah, he could sort of retire and have accrued more performances for his club than a lot of quite established players.
Really crazy.
Yeah, so he would obviously be a great acquisition, but we think we need a new keeper. If you have any suggestions as to who it should be, if we haven't mentioned them, make sure that you comment below. We're going to stick to our old shape.
Yeah, look, I don't think we will play this sort of 3-5-1-2, whatever, 3-4-3, whatever it is that we seem to play this season. I think a new manager will come in and want to put their own stamp on it. But I think for the sake of this argument, we've stuck with what we know because it's been like this for 2 years, so it might not get changed. So we've gone for 3 at the back.
Okay.
And we've not actually changed anything. We've gone Azpilicueta, Christensen and Rudiger. Zuma back on loan on the bench.
So Zuma. So if the season goes well and we end up getting to the Europa League final and maybe a domestic cup final as well, we will play a lot of football.
Yep.
So somebody like, although this is the starting lineup, Kurt Zuma hasn't made our starting lineup. He could still easily play 30 games.
Definitely. I think next season's all about heavy rotation. We need to prioritise getting back in the Champions League, whether that's prioritising it Europa League or getting into the top 4 and trying to win the league. I think realistically, top 4 would be easier than trying to win the Europa League because I think Europa League is, it's very tiresome as a competition. A lot of games, obviously a lot less than a Premier League campaign. I'm not stupid, but I think finishing the top 4, we need to really sort of make a stamp, make our mark.
Yeah.
The likes of Tottenham, Liverpool, City, United, all getting cocky, all think we're going to be out of the race.
But this is the worry though, Ben. For me, those clubs, when you look at Chelsea's circumstance at the moment, it doesn't feel great. There's not a good air about the place. Liverpool and Tottenham, with the except we don't even need to discuss the Manchester teams here, but Liverpool and Tottenham, they both feel like they're on the up.
Yep.
They both feel like they're moving in the right direction.
Yep.
and
we're not.
We need to be part of that, don't we? We need to get the
100%.
momentum back. So we're going to keep we don't need any investment, we've decided, at back.
I think centre-backs, Rudiger's young, Christensen's young, Azpilicueta has to be our captain next season.
Agreed.
Cahill, he'll end up somewhere like Everton, some sort of mid-table dross.
Yeah.
Zuma, he's still early 20s. Maybe one more player. We've got Thomas Callas on loan at Fulham. He's had a good season for them. There's no reason he can't come back in.
How long ago was that, when he had that blinder at Liverpool?
2014, when Gerrard slipped. He was great, but he's still a good young player. There's no reason why he can't be in and amongst the team. Fulham still might come up, probably through the playoffs now, but him, why not? Why spend millions of pounds
get him involved? Yeah, absolutely. So that's a good back line.
Yeah.
Our wing backs then. So we'll start with the player that is currently on Chelsea's books.
Yeah.
And then we're going very optimistic.
Just a little bit.
But so we're going to start, and it's slightly left field suggestion. You've gone for Kennedy.
Yeah.
On the right.
Yes, I think someone like Kennedy, whilst he's played for us a couple of times at wing back and probably not been that impressive, the last couple of months on loan at Newcastle, he's been superb.
They love him as well.
Yeah,
Geordies
they do.
Love him.
And you know what? There's absolutely nothing to say that he can't get in our team. He's been linked with PSG, Bayern Munich, I think Liverpool after him. He is a great young player.
Agreed.
And he is very versatile. He's obviously playing in attack for them. I'd like to think that we will have 2 or 3 wingers, probably stronger and better than him, to be playing up with a 3. That's why I've kind of put him in at wing back, because he's got that ability. Victor Moses, he was brilliant last season. Sort of,
That was the peak, though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was as good as it's ever going to get.
When you score the winner against Tottenham, it's not going to get much better. This season he's just been very frustrating. Zappacosta, one of our worst signings of all time. He's dreadful.
See, do you know what I like about Kennedy? I challenged you on that one initially, Kennedy on that side. But where I think it could really lend itself to something quite desirable for Chelsea is he has an eye for a goal.
Definitely.
So cutting in, linking up with whoever plays in front of him, you'll find out soon. But cutting in and unleashing that left foot could be very dangerous, because that's been a massive issue for us this year. We just haven't had enough goals across the team. Like our midfield, Kante, as wonderful player as he is, he hasn't got an eye for a goal. Fabregas doesn't have an eye for a goal. Bakayoko doesn't have an eye for a goal. Drinkwater barely has an eye for a goal. It's just not. Like, there was a time when we had Ballack and Lampard and Essien in that midfield. They're worthy of 50 goals. Yeah. So goals across the team is very important. Kennedy at right fullback could provide some.
Definitely.
We then go across, and we've gone. We live in the dream now, so just bear with us. We're allowed this, though. You're allowed to have a nice time as well, aren't you? You can enjoy yourself. So we've gone for Sandro. Is there a chance?
I think last summer was probably the best opportunity, but maybe his stock has dropped a little bit. I think good for Juve this season.
Don't get me wrong, I'll look directly in the camera. Markus Alonso, I absolutely adore you. You are the love of my life. I love him. He's great. I don't want to see him dropped. But, if we could get in someone of Sandro's ilk, I think last season he was one of the players that Conte really earmarked, and probably part of the reason why he's been sulking ever since, because he didn't get the players that he wanted. There's no reason why we can't try and sign him. We also got Emerson. Who's Emerson? What is he? Why did we sign him?
We've spent no answer to that question.
We've spent about £1 billion on left backs in the last 5-6 years.
I know. It started with Del Horno.
But you know what? Actually, a cheeky one. It's not on our list, but Southampton, they're going down. Ryan Bertrand, bring him back.
Love to have him back.
He was quality against us the other day. I'd absolutely adore for him to come back.
Ryan the Lion in Bayern.
Exactly.
It would be wonderful to have him back at the club. Yeah, there's certainly something in that.
Yep.
But we're going to live the dream here, and we're going to go with Sandro as our fullback.
Yep.
We then go for our 2 holding midfielders.
Yep.
N'Golo Kante, I think that one is pretty much a given.
First name on the team sheet.
Now this I like, and I think people are going to enjoy this. Over to you.
Marco van Ginkel. Right. He's been our player for a number of years. Bear in mind, he is on loan at PSV. He's on loan, and he is their captain. He's 25 years of age. He is their captain as a loan player. He's just led them to the title. He's got an eye for goal. He can pass. He's a brilliant player, and he needs to be given an opportunity now. It's now or never for him. But PSV, not a bad team.
Yeah, captaining the Dutch team that wins the Eredivisie.
Yeah, well
right?
pronounced. Yeah,
Thank
sounds good.
You are worthy of this conversation. You are worthy. This is absolutely correct, and I think that we should bring him back, and I think that he should be in and around it, because we have so many midfielders. Kante aside, I don't think that we have a midfielder that's worthy of being in the top 4.
No.
I think Bakayoko deserves a bit more time, actually. I think people were slightly critical of him too early. I really do, Ben. I just think that he was so young. He was excellent for Monaco. He came into a new league. He wasn't fit when he arrived. I think there's a lot of reasons. Don't get me wrong, my patience is thin, but I'm not writing him off yet.
Listen,
whereas I am writing Danny Drinkwater off. I am writing Fabregas off.
I'll tell you this. I have a good friend of mine. He's a very big fan of French football. Watches it. He's from Belgium, but he works in French football. And he said to me last summer, he said, I assure you that Bakayoko is the worst player of that whole Monaco team. He said, you have signed an absolute dud, and
Really?
you're going to be, you'll see. Every week I get a little message from him being like,
Oh, really?
I told
just
you.
Just emojis.
Yeah, just like you told me.
Just with the sunglasses.
Monaco were great last season. I think Bakayoko, if we get the Monaco manager Jardim, however you pronounce it, I mean, he will obviously, Bakayoko would like that, but I also actually heard reports that Monaco are interested in re-signing him, which wouldn't be sad to see him go.
Yeah.
Yep.
But what we do need to do is reinforce that midfield position.
100%.
And Van Ginkel, it's a very easy, cost-effective way of doing it.
Yeah, the other one we put on the bench there, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, been great at Palace, been unfortunate with injuries, but you know, having him, again, like we said with the Europa League, that heavy rotation, he deserves his chance.
At the beginning of the season, when it was really going wrong for Palace under De Boer, he was the jewel in the crown.
Absolutely.
He was the one thing that was keeping Palace fans just from ending it all. Like he was the one shining light. So Ruben Loftus-Cheek absolutely needs to be back around the club. We then gone for... So we've gone Eden Hazard over here on the right. So you're...
whichever, I just wrote it down. It doesn't matter which side he plays.
So Eden Hazard in the team. The important thing to discuss here, though, is Eden Hazard staying at the club,
I think all the reports that I'm hearing are that Hazard will stay if the right manager comes in. And I think that right manager is someone who's going to not build a team around him per se, but have him as the focal point. I think now we still don't play to his strength. We play to more of a defensive strength. That's why we're playing players like Kante and Fabregas. And Hazard still isn't really given that free rein. He's played him obviously on the wing. He's played them as like a false 9. He's played him as a number 10. I think we need someone to come in and say, right, this guy has obviously got a lot of talent. Let's stop playing him with such terrible footballers. Get some good attacking, creative players in. Players like Van Ginkel, players like Kennedy, whoever else we say, Loftus-Cheek. These players who will be looking for him all the time. And that's how we should be playing, because he is that good. The thought of him leaving in the summer, that will be a real signifier for us that it's going to go downhill, because as much as Hazard is very frustrating, can really just be the worst player on the pitch if he chooses to be, we've not had someone like him for years. I mean, someone to be able to just turn it on, and he is world class. Yeah, he just needs to be more consistent, and the right manager, the right players, I think there's no reason why he wouldn't be.
Okay, just to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Does he stay?
Again, I really think it depends.
I think your face said it all there.
I think it depends who the manager is. I think if we bring in someone like Sarri, who is going to play really quick flowing attacking football, Hazard will see that and be like, I do want to stay, but at the same time,
if it's another defensive-minded manager, it's just not.
Yeah, he'll be out the door. He'll be wanting to leave, and he's only got a year or so left on the contract, so we're going to have to cash in eventually, aren't we?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. What have we got on the other side?
Leon Bailey.
Bailey.
I think he was pictured in a Chelsea shirt quite a few years ago as a youngster, and he sort of tweeted about never give up your dreams. He's been great. Also eligible for England, which I'm not sure if he's obviously going to go to the World Cup, but he is somehow eligible to play for England, which would be interesting.
Right. He would be a great signing for Leverkusen. He's been, he's really quick, attacking. He's a good player. He's better than Pedro, can be as good as Willian.
Right.
That's as simple as it is.
Yeah, well, I think that pretty much demonstrates the point perfectly.
Yeah, definitely.
So Bailey in, which is another signing. So although the interesting thing about this team is, although we've gone quite optimistic, we haven't actually spent that. We've only actually signed so far a keeper, Sandro, and now Bailey.
Yeah.
So it's not huge amounts of dealings in the transfer
because
market.
I think as much as it's easy to say,
making use of our loan players, bringing back Van Ginkel, bringing back Zuma, bringing back Loftus-Cheek.
This season has proven that the loan system works, because we've had Christensen sort of come through the ranks, and also Courtois, obviously he's a starter. But it's
proven now that this system,
the best ones will come back. Yeah. Zuma, I think, will be back. Loftus-Cheek will be back. Tammy Abraham, hopefully, will be back. Yeah. We have some good players there, so let's use them. We're not going to, as much as I'd like us to sign 15 new players and get rid of most of this team, I think like a lot of Chelsea fans would, this is more realistic.
For sure. So who's leading the line? Who's pinging in all the goals to make this team win the league?
Well, I've gone for 3 options. One is Michi, and people who know me will be very surprised that I've included him, because I am probably his number 1 fan on the opposite spectrum. Right, I don't like him. That would be a better word.
Number 1 fan on the other side?
Journalist here doesn't even remember the word.
That's all right. You put your own spin on it.
Listen, Batshuayi has been very frustrating when he's been playing for Chelsea. His loan spell at Dortmund has proven that he is a good player. The Bundesliga, obviously, it doesn't have the same level. Unfortunately, he actually got injured against Schalke. It looks like he might be missing the World Cup, which is going to really sort of derail that, that real kind of push that he's had, which would be an absolute shame. But, he's young. He can still develop. And I think if we sold him, we would regret it. I'm not going to say a la sort of Lukaku, De Bruyne, Salah, but maybe. He's young and he could still develop.
Well, and also, his eye for a goal, in terms of just being a natural finisher, I appreciate there are flaws in his overall game.
Yeah.
But in terms of being a natural finisher, he's fantastic.
He can do it.
Big goals as well. That's the important. It's almost as important as being a natural finisher is his aptitude to score huge goals.
Yeah.
Goals that win you the league, goals away from home at Madrid in Europe, like big goals.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
So
but I've gone for
potential.
I've gone for two others there, and people are probably going to call me crazy because they both play for Man United, but they keep signing our players, so there's no reason we can't sign their players. I've gone for Rashford or Martial. Now, I know Martial has played a lot in the wing, but he's a natural finisher as well. Rashford, both of them are sort of disillusioned under Mourinho. They're not getting the game time. Mourinho said last week that he's not going to sign any other strikers because he doesn't want Lukaku and whoever else he still has to complain, but he's not going to be able to keep Rashford and Martial. One of them is going to leave this summer, and why should we not be able to nick one of them?
For sure.
Both superb players. I mean, Rashford, we talked about Donnarumma playing over 100 games at that age. Rashford's already played that sort of amount of games for Man United. It's crazy.
I love him.
Yeah, he's a great player.
I love him.
Natural finisher.
Part of my optimism for England this summer is down to players like him.
I completely agree.
And so that would be wonderful
if
that could come off. And then we've got a pretty strong bench, a lot of familiar faces. People like Willian, people like Alonso.
Yeah. Tammy Abraham there.
Morata.
Yeah, Morata, stick him on the bench. Listen, I'm a bit stuck with Morata. I actually think, my personal opinion is that we should probably sell him this summer because...
You don't make your money back though.
You know what? I think this summer we would. I think we wait another year, he'll get sort of Torres-itis. He could come good because he's shown it, but he needs to buck up his ideas. He needs to stop falling over.
Get down the gym.
Just get down the gym and stop, mincing about with your bird because that's what he's like. All it is just him and his bird.
I know.
I think we should sell him because I think now we would get something back. If he has another bad season, we're going to cut that fee in half. But give him the benefit of the doubt.
Chance.
So we stuck him on there. We got Caballeros doing goal. I'm sure we'll get another goalkeeper because he's about 42 or something. Isn't he? Alonso there, Zuma, Loftus-Cheek, Tammy Abraham, Willian, and Morata. That's a strong bench. That's a really good squad. And there's definitely a couple others on loan that we can bring back in and have in and around it.
Love it. Exciting times. Ben, thank you so much for joining us.
More than a
really
pleasure.
do appreciate it. And please come back on a video soon.
I will.
Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you do enjoy it. And if you did, please click the subscribe button right now. Go on, you Blues. Oh!
Good shot.